Why do you even try to be good at something? You are just a girl. You will never amount to anything. Those were the words that kept ringing in my ears after someone whom I thought was a friend hurled it towards me out of the blue. I had just won my first big break, a coding competition, and while most everyone at my school was happy for me, the one person whom I thought would be prouder than anyone else made it clear that he was not. I was shocked at first, because I never saw it coming. It felt unreal, coming from someone you thought you've known your whole life and would be among those who would be happy to see you succeed. Yet I was wrong. I was only in the 6th grade at the time and just discovered my potential to do things that I didn't know I was capable of, much more being good at it. Instead of encouragement, my little accomplishment was met with condescension and animosity, especially from someone who suddenly felt I had become their unlikely competition. You are just a girl. You will never amount to anything. In fact, you will end up being useless, like a wife and a mom. I must admit, I was floored. More so because it never occurred to me that wives and moms are ever useless. In fact, I've always thought that these women have superhuman qualities for what they do, because I have seen them build lives and families and careers and empires all at once. And boy, do these women rock the world. So for a brief moment there, I was in total disbelief of someone telling me otherwise. But that became a turning point for me, as it made me realize the struggles and challenges that girls have to face in this very competitive and oftentimes unjustly cruel world. That very day, I had a choice to make: lose a friend or lose what little faith I had in me. I chose to believe in myself. While my self-worth hung in a delicate balance during that moment, it also became a significant moment of epiphany. I was only 11 at the time, so things like gender discrimination and misogyny did not strike me until the spotlight hit me right in the face. As hurtful as those words have impacted my perception of that person, it was also the eye-opener that I needed to awaken my inner strength, shaping me to try to be all of the things I thought I could never be: a coder, a scientist, a musician, a roboticist, a public speaker, a leader, a kick-butt black belt martial artist, an innovator, a pilot, and even perhaps a future astronaut, but most importantly, a champion for girl empowerment and gender equity. While we go around celebrating International Women's Day every year and highlight the achievements of women everywhere, the same day also reminds us of the challenges that girls and women continue to face because of inequality. From underrepresentation to domestic burdens, to the appalling lack of educational and professional opportunities, to the cultural struggle of saving young girls from contemptible child marriages. We all know that even in recent years, progress towards gender equity has been marginal, and the pandemic has slowed down that pace even more, with the economic fallout felt globally, widening the gender gap at schools, workplaces, and even at home, as women are faced with a double shift of responsibilities and attending to both their personal and professional lives. In 2015, 193 member countries of the United Nations came together to commit to sustainable development goals to better the world. One of those goals was directed towards achieving gender equality and empowering girls and women everywhere by 2030. With less than 10 years left to meet that goal, we need to accelerate our efforts to ensure that progress is being made, and we, as individuals, are contributing to that. When we look at the statistics today, we can clearly see the gender disparity plaguing our societies and the massive amount of work that needs to be done to address it. As for me and my generation, I see a consistent pattern of need for empowerment and support, as I believe the gender divide can only be resolved when both men and women work together collectively. And that starts by empowering boys to see girls as their equal, from the playroom to the boardroom and everywhere else. Being told I will never be good enough because of my gender was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, as it made me realize the hurdles that girls and women face everywhere. Having experienced it firsthand, I felt compelled to be a part of the solution in putting an end to girls being talked out of believing in themselves and bullied into thinking they are incapable of realizing their potential. My personal experience not only pushed me to do my best in whatever I do, it led me to encourage the best in others by creating girl empowering and gender equity initiatives in my community. Programs aimed to encourage girls to pursue non-traditional career pathways, such as those in STEM, and encouraging early collaborations between boys and girls through STEM. As figures show, STEM is an influential field that holds a lot of power in shaping the gender divide. But more importantly, we can use it as an opportunity to bridge the gap and level the playing field, empowering both genders to interact and collaborate with each other early on, while creating significant strides to make the world a better place, literally and figuratively. So why girl empowerment? Because gender inferiority and stereotyping are some of the root causes of gender discrimination and disparity. Have you ever been called an it girl or heard someone being called one? What comes to mind right away? The glitzy, trendy depiction of girls trying to live up to the superficial, arm candy image who is simply adored for their looks and nothing else, right? Simply put, a shallow representation of what a girl of the moment should be. Seeing how that has become the way the world sees girls nowadays, I felt compelled to challenge the stereotypical perception of what girls are and redefine what an it girl should be, because I believe that being a girl should stand for more than our looks and arm candy qualities. My girl empowering initiative, ItGirls, started as a personal reflection of what I have experienced in my own journey. What was meant to make me stumble and fall became the building blocks for my motivation to kick into full gear, striving to show that girls can be anything we set our minds to. Gender inequality has plagued not only our workplaces, it starts out in schools and in playgrounds. My own experience motivated me to challenge the unfounded belief that girls have no place in male-dominated fields, such as those in STEM. Not because we don't have the knowledge or skill set, not because we are not good enough, but merely because of our gender. That brush with sexism fueled my motivation as I refused to be victimized by someone's insecurity. Instead, I wanted to leverage that experience to help put an end to girls being talked out of their dreams and bullied out of believing in themselves, crushing their dreams, aspirations, and confidence. What happened to me could have had two outcomes: one of me accepting defeat and believing that person who told me I am worthless and shouldn't even try to make anything of myself, or one of me taking it as a challenge, motivating myself to reach my full potential and proving that person wrong. Although there's a long path ahead of me, I decided to show up with everything I've got in however way I can, so girls can see that the possibilities are endless and that we have a place in STEM, or whatever it is that we set our hearts out to do, whether it be winning coding competitions, building award-winning robots despite being the only girl on my robotics team, or designing a science experiment that will soon be launched to outer space. I did it not just because I wanted to prove that person wrong, but more importantly, I did it because I wanted to own my strength, to empower myself and other girls, and show them what is possible when they start realizing their value and potential. I wanted to elevate a platform where girls are encouraged and have the opportunity to be the best version of themselves through education, empowerment, and collaboration, redefining what it takes to be an It girl into something that every girl should strive for, because we are more than what meets the eye, and that our dreams, our abilities, and our values are valid and worth it. I'm stepping up to make a change because I believe there is a pressing need to redefine the value of girls and women in our society. The gender gap is an obstacle to growth and progress, for which the future, our future, is at stake. I founded ItGirls to transform the notion that being an It girl is all just about the superficial depiction of girls being defined by their looks, figure, and assumptions of inferiority. Instead, I wanted to transform that definition into something that inspires and empowers, to stand for girls who are smart, skilled, confident, and capable. Together with those who share the same vision, we can address the under and misrepresentation of girls and women by working towards a transformed status quo, one that acknowledges equality, embraces inclusivity, and promotes diversity, changing the world and the future one It girl at a time. Because I firmly believe that a world that is inclusive of us is a world with a future that we all want to be a part of. So girls, if you ever find yourself in my shoes, where someone undermines your value because you're just a girl, don't let it wear you down. Take it as an affirmation of your potential. Own it. Show them what a girl can do. Remember, you are the future, and you have the power to change the world. Thank you.